Hey folks, so I did a video short today and put it up on YouTube, which mentioned a word which I realize could be a shibboleth if somebody wanted to distinguish correct speakers of Gaelic from those who don't speak it correctly. Like there are so many words, but some words have you spot a non-correct speaker of a language quicker than others. I suppose you've heard about the time in the Dominican Republic when the authorities weeded out the non-Dominican people that were living in the Dominican Republic because most of them were from Haiti, and Haitians traditionally cannot pronounce the R sound that is very common in Spanish, so they just had them say the word for parsley in Spanish because there's an R in that. And I believe it led to a big kind of genocidal purge of the Haitians, or so they say. Now, if we ever wanted such a purge in Ireland, we could use this thing among many words. But this one seems to come up, it just springs out because it's got such a difference between the way most people speak it, that is, most learners, and those who speak correct Gaelic speak it. Because this word, and it always comes as well, because there's only one of them, it always comes with the article. Gaelic only has a definite article. And because there's only one in the whole world, it's the sun. You would never, or almost never, use this word without its article. So, the way to say this word, as you might have seen on my little short video today, is ghrian. Now that's the completely opposite kind of dynamics of how most, if not to say all, learners say it. Because ghrian is the article, and then the beginning of this word is slender, and the end of it is broad. Whereas most, if not all, learners say this, try to say the same word, but they started with a broad consonant and they ended in a slender. Pretty much saying it backwards. That's what it sounds like to a Gaelic ear. Saying that something is backwards there. So, as I said, the correct way to say it is ghrian. So you've got the article, which is a sound, and then ghrian, slender, lenited G sound, a slender R, then you've got the vowel, and then it goes on and finishing off in a broad N. But most or all learners, instead of that, they say on green. So that on, where they overpronounce the N, the N doesn't need pronouncing at all unless somebody really wants to overemphasize or wants to emphasize it. And then they say, they don't even lenite it. It should be lenited because it's feminine, but 99+% of people who are talking about this, they say on green. They pronounce it exactly the same as this color in English. Green. No, miles up. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Ghrian, that's the slender first consonant in the second word, ghrian, and the broad end consonant. So but when you say green, that's a broad R. How would you spell that word in Gaelic that they say? On green. Well, this is the on. I suppose it would be something like this. Green. On green. There's the word. Correctly spelled with a little article there. Should be like this. ghrian. So put a big X beside this one. I'll put a tick mark beside this one. Wrong. It's not ghrian. I don't know how you'd spell on with the overpronounced in. Something like on. Ghrian, completely wrong. It just grates on the ears so strongly. It's unbelievable. Of those who do speak Gaelic, but those who don't speak it, they're oblivious to this butchery of the word. Where people so often say ghrian, slender n at the end, instead of saying ghrian. There's no comparison for me. There's no comparison between those two sounds. Ghrian, ghrian. I don't know how many of you will agree with that. Anyway, that's just my little tip. If you want to sound proficient in Gaelic, why not start with this word that is so often talked about, even though maybe not so often seen in Ireland. So let me break down the word. The article, spelled A-N, should be pronounced in this case. Simply a neutral vowel. And then, because the article is there, this is lenited, the initial G, which becomes Y. The sound is Y. Y. And then there's the slender or ghrian. Ghrian. And you got to make sure that you make that N at the end broad, a sound that doesn't really exist in standard English, although it does exist in certain kind of dialect or unusual situations. So you've got the wrong one again. And give it one more time. The wrong one is ghrian. That's easy. Maybe a lot of you have been saying that already when you're talking about the colour in English. And this one, the only correct way of saying it that I'm aware of is ghrian. Have a look at my other video if you want to hear me saying it in a natural context. Ghrian. Best of luck with that, folks.